Hello, good morning. My name is Diego Alejandro Romero Castro. I'm a student of the tourism major. And today we are going to be talking about a research proposal. And the main topic is best practices for managing health-related complaints in food and beverage services at hotel restaurants. So this is a class of professional English for tourism. And this is teamwork, so it's not only me, but we are me and Eliane Maite Jimenez Rodriguez, John Kenan Belezun Lorzano. They are as well part of this research proposal. And this is an assignment from our professor, Marlon Arturo Cedeño Alava. Okay, and let's start. Well, the introduction of this research is that we are trying to talk about the main concerns identified in the food and beverage department of the restaurants at hotels as well. We decided to talk about it because when we think about health complaint, the first thing that comes to my mind is food and beverage, because what we eat and what we drink is directly connected of how we are going to be feeling. So if you provide to your guests a food that is not well cooked, well, then that guest, that client could get sick probably. So for that reason, it's so important to know how to handle food. So in this research, we are trying to cover topics such as safe food handling practices, the importance of gluten-free and vegetarian options, the halal certification, and addressing main complaints from clients, including spoiled fruits and dirty dishes at the buffet. So our goal here is directly to connect with main complaints that we can find in this area of a hotel, that it can be the food and beverage complaints, and how we can bring solution to this problematic that we find so often when we see and when we research the reviews on TripAdvisor of whatever hotel or resort. Okay, so the way that we did this research is about trying to cover in not only one single area, but different areas, so that we can make food and beverage service inclusive, that it can include everybody, that everybody can enjoy, and that anybody feel discriminated when they are looking for food and beverage options in a hotel or in a resort as well. Okay, so right now I'm going to talk about safe food handling practices. First, the most important thing is to always clean your hands. That's the first thing to be done. As well, no accessories can be worn in your hands while you are about to cook, because it can be dangerous. Like if you have a ring, or if you have some bracelet or a clock in your wrist. So it's pretty important to have your hands free from accessories and to clean it pretty well before starting to do any process at the cook, and as well to always clean all the fruits and the veggies under water. And sometimes some products might need a special treatment. Some of them might need that you use a little bit of chlorine with the water for clean it even deeper. And some other veggies would need also to be boiled in order to be consumed by a person at first. So then it's important also to separate everything. Everything needs to be at different temperatures at the cook, so it's important to separate and to put all the ingredients and all the materials in categories. Because at hotels, the cooks, they cook a lot. They cook like for hundreds of people. So they buy not a few items for cooking, but they buy a lot of food. So for that reason, it's important to separate it and to know how to storage every single one of it. Okay, so cook is another important aspect when trying to say food handling practices. It is important to know different temperatures that are needed for different kinds of meats. For example, for poultry like chicken, like turkey, there is a specific temperature of 165 degrees. Okay, and for ground meat is a lower temperature, and as well there is a lower temperature for cooking beef and pork in whole parts. So it means that those temperatures are needed to be you need to raise, you need to reach that level of temperature in order to eliminate whatever kind of bacteria or infection or whatever thing, because you never know that that meat, that if you don't cook it properly, whatever client could get sick if this client is eating a raw meat. It's very important to cook it always and in the right temperature. As well, another aspect in consideration is chill. We need to know the temperatures that we need for different kind of products. Some products need degrees below 0 degrees, below zero, and others might need a little bit higher degrees and not so frozen. So it depends on food to food. All right, let's move to the next one. Right now, I'm going to be talking about what is gluten and why is gluten-free foods so important. Okay, so gluten is a protein that is found in certain grains, such as wheat, barley, and rye, and it makes dough elastic and gives bread its chewy texture. So it's basically part of something that we eat, but for some people, it's not something that they can process. So most of the people that I know, they don't have problem consuming gluten, but some people might have it. And when we are talking about international aspects, there are a lot of people who might not be able to consume gluten foods because those people might be having problems like that diabetic, or they would have a small intestine. So those people have high sensitivity to foods that contains gluten. So it's always important to create gluten-free food, and also to ask your guests if they have any kind of restriction with eating, so that they can provide you feedback and that you can prepare them a menu that can be useful for them. So therefore, it is important to always add in the menu not only whatever thing, but also having awareness of adding gluten-free options, so that the people who cannot consume it, they might see that there are gluten-free options and that they can eat something and have a joyful moment to share with their loved ones. Okay, there are some examples of gluten-free. It can be like corn, bread, pasta, some seeds. Those foods, they usually have gluten. Rice as well. So those foods are foods that have gluten, and we need to be aware of those kind of foods and do research and always study about it, because it is important for the nutrition of a lot of our guests. Okay, so for buffets, for example, it is important to have a small sign at where, for example, if there's a buffet, right, they put all the food in there, to put a small signs where they alert the people if this food have gluten or not. So, for example, you can put the small sign to all the foods that are gluten free. So you put that small sign with the food in there, and you put here written down, you write it down that it is gluten-free food, so that the people who are diabetic, the people who cannot consume gluten, they will look and they will be observing and they will notice, oh, I can consume it because this is gluten-free, so it's good for me. So as well, it is important to provide good training to the cooking staff, because the, not everybody might have that training of knowing what is gluten and which foods are gluten free and which are not. So it is important that all the cooking staff, they have the basic knowledge of what is gluten and how to create gluten free menus for the restaurant of the hotel or the resort. So you must ensure, if you can, if it's possible, that all the dishes at the menu have two versions, the version with gluten and the gluten-free version. That would be idea, because for example, if a buffet create a day that is only for pizza, right? Uh, It's like everybody loves pizza. And imagine there's somebody who cannot consume gluten. It would be nice for that person to have the gluten-free pizza version so that people can enjoy as well. So that's all for me now. And right now my classmates are going to continue giving the explanation of everything.
Vegetarian and vegan option. The inclusion of vegetarian and vegan option on the menu is crucial for guest satisfaction as they might have diverse needs, desires, or interests. Main guests bake employing a calorie definition for weight loss or the mix be vegetarian or vegans for personal direction to provide nutritionality balance minimum. Vegetables are essential. It's worth to note the difference between vegan and vegetarian. Vegetarian option. Vegan diets contain no animal products. Wax free vegetarian option may include date and eggs. Halal certification. Halal certification is an import accreditation proven to restaurants that adhere to Islam's dietary laws. There's written and roots in the religious traditions and cultural practice that hold significant meaning for Muslims. That certification enables Muslim gets to indulge parents' life of option which concerns and solitary theater needs and religious belief and respect. To prevent this option with confidence, a restaurant should first of official certification. This involves adhering to strict guidelines such as ensuring that the meat comes from animals slaughtered in accordance with Islamic law, and that egg ingredients are free from processed substances like pork and alcohol. Respect there's dietary restrictions is crucial for example, in strict forums in Islam and say presence of having smash amounts from render a male importunate by offering certificates a all option. Restaurant of honor and respect the cultural and religious practice of their Muslim guests. Their fostering and inclusive and welcome every month for her. How to have your HAL certificate. To her HAL certificate, start with infringement and reconcile a HAL certification authority. We can vary big country. The certification process typically involves several key steps. First, submit an application to choose and train. This is for you be a thorough inspection of the food preparation areas to ensure the meat standard laws, ingredients used in meal preparation, which also be assessed to vary the count, which is standards of social inspection and review certification and during which claim the whole certification. It is essential to regularly renew the certification to maintain compliance and reassuring risk of the authenticity of your health offerings. This process not only demonstrates commitment to meet the religious and cultural needs of most, but food and food and service big with it count.
Hi, my name is Maite Jimenez. I am going to tell you about common complaint and spoiled fruits and dirty dishes. If we look up some reviews on TripAdvisor about buffet restaurant, we can identify two common complaints. The first is spoiled fruit. Due to high temperatures, some fruits tend to spoil faster. For example, a ripe banana spoils more quickly than an apple or an orange. To prevent this, it's important to ensure that fruits are kept in a well ventilation areas, perhaps with a fan to keep flies away, and at appropriate temperature to extend their freshness. Regular inspection of the fruit's condition are also necessary. As it is extremely disrespectful for clients to encounter spoiled fruit, such instances can leave a terrible impression about the hygiene of the place. The next is added dishes. Okay. Buffet restaurant handle a large number of clients, ranging from 300 to 1,200 per service size, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. To manage this efficiently, they often use this washing machine. However, this washing machine occasionally fails to clean all dishes thoroughly, leaving some slightly dirty, which client notice. Given that client pay a significant amount for the buffet services, encountering dirty dishes can be extremely disrespectful and disappointing. The best course of action to address this use is to have someone supervise every dish that's come out of the machines, ensuring that each dish is clean and washing any that are not will maintain the high standard spec and uphold the restaurant reputation for hygiene. Thank you.